take you down to the AFC East. The Dolphins were in full control until they weren't. The Saints tried to make it interesting down the stretch. They recovered an onside kick, but McDaniel's crew found a way to finish it off. The Dolphins have now won 3 straight after starting the season 2-7. Another big game from Devon Achane in the win. And, of course, the Bills, the reigning champ, they dominate the time of possession in the 26-7 win over Pittsburgh. Josh Allen with his 76th career rushing touchdown to pass Cam Newton for most all time. James Cook had his 7th 100-yard game as well. And they say defense wins championships. Christian Benford with 2 key takeaways down the stretch to seal the deal. And would you look at that? The Bills are back. They make their way back into the wild card conversation. You see the division leaders on your left with the Broncos currently playing right now. I believe they're trailing Washington 7-6 at the moment. So we'll keep our eye on the 9-2 Broncos there. But the Dolphins still in the hunt somehow, some way. The Chiefs as well, also not in the playoff picture currently. Let me welcome you back to Game Day Recap here. Let's start our conversation with the Buffalo Bills. Guys, this one was kind of weird at first. It was kind of like one of those games where we were watching it and it was like, this is not going to be very good. But then Josh Allen does Josh Allen things. He passes Cam Newton for the most rushing touchdowns all time. And I think, Damien, when your quarterback can do the things that Josh Allen does, it helps out. But you played for this team. What stands out about how the Bills were able to beat the Steelers today?
It was all about the run game. I mean, Josh Allen, he played well, but this game wasn't about him. This was about James Cook and what the offensive line did in the trenches. They pushed Pittsburgh around. I mean, they ran for over 250 yards, and it looked like there was a point in time, I want to say midway through the fourth quarter and on, they ran the same duo every single play. We had to listen to Tony talk about, they're running duo, Jim. They're running to the right, Jim. They're going to run duo again to the right, Jim. But all of that to say they just knew they could push those guys around and they could not stop the run. So hats off to Jimbo, hats off to the guys up front because they really carried this team. And I've said it from day one, as good as Josh Allen is, this team lives through the run game. They do. It's always been that way. Buffalo is not as good when they take away James Cook and eliminate the run game from themselves, or when they try to put the run game on the shoulders of Josh Allen. It's just not as good. When you've got a guy like James Cook who can run and got that wiggle in between the tackles, but can also hit the home run with the speed and explosiveness that he has, again, that allows Josh Allen to play a safer game plan. Because we know once he starts pressing, it's when the turnover bug starts to kick up. So run game was super impressive tonight.
Can this team still get to the Super Bowl? Because they've been your pick, and we're looking at them. Is this Buffalo team still your Super Bowl representative?
They were great running the ball today. It's fantastic. But at some point, they got to be able to hit shot plays down the field. You can't constantly count on grinding out the run game. It just isn't. I mean, this was fantastic today. And the Steelers aren't very good on defense, and it showed up. They pushed them around. But you can't count on that week in and week out. I know they want to run the ball, but they have to find a way to get chunk plays in the passing game, or you're not winning a Super Bowl. So to answer your question, as they're playing right now, I would probably say no. If they can start to build the passing game. We opened the game. I said it's going to be a run right. Then they're going to throw a bubble screen to Shakir on the left. And then they'll come back 3rd and long, go ask Josh Allen to make a play. And that's what they did. Luckily, they got the run game going. And you're right. They need to run the ball. But you also have to get some chunk plays in the pass.
Absolutely. I agree.
No, for me, it's to me, this offense is like 2 different offenses. Right, you come into it, you have the one game plan that heavily features James Cook, which we saw today. Mm-hmm. But then you have that other offense that is more carefree, that's opened up for Josh Allen to go out and do what Josh Allen does, which is him be a threat with his legs running the football, and then him being able to play off schedule and create those downfield throws. I don't know that those downfield throws are in their 3, 5 to 7 step drop back game versus those plays being created off of Josh Allen's legs. Haley, you mentioned it. For them today, the big thing was 3rd down and time of possession. They were 8 for 15 on 3rd down today, and then held the ball for over 40 minutes of this game. Pittsburgh only had the ball for 18 minutes the entire day, and they were just playing keep away. Damien, you talked about running duo. Mm-hmm. They would run duo, and James Cook would bounce it outside to the right because Pittsburgh wasn't able to set those physical edges and force him back to the stack. He would hit it and then bounce out to the right, and then it was always an explosive there. It was always an explosive or 1st down, and they were able to extend those drives and just play the short long, ugly game, right? It wasn't anything flashy. They did what they had to do to win the football game.
One good number to come out of this game for the Bills, 3.2 per rush against. The Steelers did not run the ball. Now, they only ran it 18 times, but they did not run the ball. Everybody's running on Buffalo. So I think that's a good sign moving forward.
Are we out on the Steelers?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Out.
Goodbye.
Out.
Goodbye. See you later, Aaron
Out.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
Don't he wishes he was on vacation?
I mean, they do have
somewhere after
essentially
today.
a big game this week coming up with the Ravens, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for A-Rod as a fellow 40-year-old.
I was like, where is this going?
Me too.
No, as a fellow 40-year-old, man, I can only imagine how he's going to feel in the morning waking up. I know I'm not going to feel that way, but I can feel that way just walking out of here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have black eyes, I can tell you that. That nose is hit.
Nose is busted, broken wrists. Like, man, we should be enjoying life in our 40s.
And he's going through all this, and he can't even get his guys, like he said, to run the right routes.
Yeah.
That's got to be
bad.
on top of the physical toll that's going to take. That has to make you sit there and just be like.
There was a moment on the sidelines where they put the camera on Aaron Rodgers, and you could see in his head going, why in the hell did I come back for this garbage? He had that look. He was just slumped over, broken nose. Why am I here?
You're going to be a meme on the internet tomorrow morning because of that.
What do you do, Pete? How do you look?
Why am I here?
Oh boy, let's go from whatever that was to the Miami Dolphins because somehow, some way, fellas, they continue to stay alive in this playoff conversation. But it's interesting the path that they've been on to get here. Of course, they blew out the Bills the week before they went to Spain. And then they went over to Spain and they played into overtime against a Commanders team that everyone thought they should have walked over. And then today, they're dominating most of the game against the Saints, and then all of a sudden Tua starts acting like Tua. That defense just can't figure out how to get a stop down the stretch. Pete, since this is your favorite team, I'll give you first word here. How are you feeling about the Dolphins to this point?
It's a weird feeling if you look at this team because they are on a mini run.
It's weird.
And they're actually in the playoff picture. They could have packed up their bags and gone home, and they haven't. And yet, at the end of the game, you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, this team has a chance to lose the game they had no business being in. Now, having said that, McDaniel made a really bad coaching decision. Late in the game, and I always like pointing to these, it was it was 3 minutes to go in the game. 3 minutes to go in the game. He's got a fourth down at the what was he at the 38, I think it was, and he decides to go for it, and rather than punt the football or kick the field goal in that situation. I didn't understand that. It kind of maybe almost backfired on him. I mean, you just can't do that in those situations. And for whatever reason, he sometimes gets, and you said it when we were up there, he gets emotional. Maybe he's coaching a little looser than he was. But you can't do that in that situation. He didn't get the first down. They got the ball, went down and scored, and all of a sudden you had a ball game.
I tell you what, for me, sorry, Damien, for me the big thing was when New Orleans went for two and Mika picked that ball off and they were able to get those 2 points, which made it a 3-point game. That was huge for Miami.
Yeah.
Because they were in a situation where a field goal could have ended the game for New Orleans. But you talked about where the Dolphins are right now, and I'm looking at it. They've won 4 out of their last 5 after opening the season losing, only winning 1 out of their first 7. And so they are on a little bit of a run. Now, will they make the playoffs? I'm going to say no. But like you've talked about before, this run are they on? Because I felt like the first 2 months of the season talking about Mike McDaniel's job security. Now are we starting to feel like this is quieting down? Are they playing for their head coach's job security and the run that they're on? If they're able to continue this, does this ensure that he'll get another crack at being the head coach?
By the way, I want to clarify. It's 4th and 1 at the 43. They're up by 8. The Saints had just used their second timeout. So if you punt the ball in, they got to go the length of the field, get the 2-point conversion to beat you with 1 timeout. You can't go for that in that scenario and give him the ball there. And he did. He went for it. He got stuffed. Ollie Gordon got stuffed. And next thing you know, it's a ball game. And that 2-point conversion actually saved them in that scenario.
Yeah. You know, to piggyback off of Rana, thank you for clarifying. You know who this Miami Dolphins team reminds me of? Last year's Florida Gators team. when we were sitting here talking about Billy Napier, not if, but when Billy Napier got fired, the team was throwing in the towel, their season was done, it was over, and then somehow they pulled it together. They ended the season on a high note, and they had a lot of confidence going into the next season. That's where I am with Miami. They're going to end they're on pace right now. This little mini run is propelling them to having a good ending to their season. I'm not confident that this is going to be something that they build off of, and then next year they're just automatically a better football team.
But you hear that they don't want to fire him.
That's what I was going to say.
They didn't want to fire Billy Napier either.
Well, yeah, but Billy Napier made him fire him.
All I was going to say was this, is that this reminds me a lot of the Dolphins team from, I believe it was in 2021, where they started out really terrible, and then they went on this little run at the end of the season, and I believe they won 7 or 8 games down the stretch. They got blown out by the Titans, I think, in that stretch as well. But either way, they had a push, and then it fell off. So, Rand, I'll come to you and give you last word here. When you look at the rest of their schedule, they've got the Jets, the Steelers, who we just saw play on Monday Night Football, and then the Bengals, Bucks, Patriots. Feels very like they could continue winning, maybe hit a little bit of a skid there with the Steelers and maybe the Bucks, but I don't know. What do you think about it? You said you don't think they can make the playoffs, so when you see the schedule, what do you think?
Looking at the schedule confirms that they won't. They won't be able to make the playoffs, and just simply because you're playing a Cincinnati Bengals team that has Joe Burrow back. And we saw the way they looked the other night. You have Tampa Bay. They're going to need these wins down the stretch. And then the final game of the season is versus New England, who I think will be playing
Might not need it.
But they also, if Denver continues to win, they're going to be playing for the #1 seed, or at least we'll see New England starters for the first half of that game. And so these teams down the stretch that they're playing have something to play for, with the exception of, say, the Jets right now. And we don't know which version of Pittsburgh we're going to see when they play. If Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy, which version of the defense are we going to be able to see? So I love what they've been able to do, how they've been able to pull it together. It's just going to be tough for them to make the playoffs.
Does this team make the playoffs?
No, hell no. Two cold weather games, you know how they wilt in the cold weather. There's no chance they're going to go make the playoffs.
I'm not going to say hell no, but I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no. A healthy no.
A healthy no.
Okay, maybe next year, Miami. But you did mention the Jets. The Jets very clearly not going to get into this postseason picture. But they have now won 3 games this year. Your boy Nick Folk with the game-winning field goal there. Uncle Nick, we were all up there celebrating. But I think the Jets, while they haven't already been eliminated from postseason contention, it's just a matter of when, not if here. So when you look at the current NFL draft order, fellas, here's how it shakes out. Of course, the Titans currently holding on to that top spot. But we see the Jets picking at number 6. I default to our resident GM on set here. When you're the Jets, what do you do with the rest of the season? Do you try to improve that stock? Do you try to prove a point if you're Aaron Glenn? How do you manage the rest of the season?
Listen, you have to try to win every game because it doesn't secure that you're going to have a job next year, right? And it allows your team to build confidence. When I was in San Francisco that first year under Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, we started the season with 9 straight losses. Right, pretty much knowing that you were going to go into it with a top 5 pick, and then down the stretch to end the season, we ended the season with 5 straight wins. Found our stride, and it gave us confidence throughout the offseason and carrying into the next season. So that's where this Jets team is right now. Trust me, they could care less about the draft position. They're well positioned because of the moves they made. They're going to have enough cracks added to be able to get good players on this team. But every win that they get from here on out is going to help build that program and show everyone that Aaron Glenn's way is the right way.
Look, they got a ton of draft picks over the course of the next 3 years, ton of premium draft picks. So if they go into this draft, they don't like a quarterback where they're currently at, or maybe being able to move up and get one, you go into the next draft, and when there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in that draft, they're well positioned. If they don't panic, they're in a great situation. But we know how that works with these owners in this league. They all panic, and they all start making these guys make irrational decisions. So if they don't panic, they're in a good situation.
We got about 30 seconds. My last question to you. When you look at the Jets' schedule, Dolphins, Jags, Saints, Pats, Bills. Do the Jets win another game this season?
Say that one more time.
Dolphins,
okay.
Jaguars, Saints, Patriots, Bills.
I think they can pick one up against the Saints.
Or the Dolphins.
Or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Or the Dolphins, potentially. But my initial thought, based on how I've seen the Saints play as of recently, I'd go Saints.
Go Saints. So just that one against the Saints. Okay, we'll see how it all shakes out. Time for our final break here on Game Day Recap. You know what that means. On the other side, we're talking winners and losers. That's next. Stay with us.